And it's time for a little baseball conversation, the first of 2019. It is opening day. The Yankees already in the lead in their first game of the season, up on the Baltimore Orioles 4-1. Michael, I'm getting ready for the Tigers and the Blue Jays at Rogers Center. What am I getting ready for?
The beginning of a rebuilding season. I was a little taken aback by the trade with Oakland yesterday, sending Kendrys Morales, who's the most expensive player on the Jays roster. You see the path that the Jays are going down. They're going to get cheap. They're going to move out their older players. They're going to build around Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and eventually Bo Bichette and Kevin Biggio. I mean, that's the model here. It's like they're not going to be good now. They're going to be good 2 or 3 years down the road, but you have to get these guys major league experience. And I know that Guerrero is probably going to start here in Buffalo for opening day next week, but he'll be up with the Blue Jays by the middle of April, and then we'll see how good he is.
This is definitely going to be Shapkin's team, right? They are in control of the lineup now, and they haven't expunged everyone from the Alex Anthopoulos era, but if that hasn't happened yet, it, I suppose, will happen at some point, Mike, and then it's off to the races. And I guess we'll be able to judge Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins on what we're seeing now and how it cultivates over the next several seasons.
The next thing you'll see is probably a guy like Kevin Pillar moved out, maybe not right away. But maybe closer to the trade deadline in July. I mean, you look at the construction of this roster, and I may be wrong, but I think that they traded Morales so they could keep Rowdy Tellez in the lineup. So you have Smoke and you have Tellez there, maybe as a DH. Maybe they flip-flop first base and DH. That might be the plan. Anthony Alford is staying. And now, so he has a spot on the 25-man roster. I mean, the direction is youth. Now, I think where there may be a lot more changeover will be in the pitching staff, because I have absolutely no confidence in Marcus Stroman being able to be consistent.
Yeah.
Aaron Sanchez, if he can keep the blister problem in control, I think he could be one of the best pitchers in the American League. But if they are, then they become commodities that you could get 2 or 3 players in exchange for.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I asked the question on Twitter what kind of season we should expect from the Blue Jays. Competitive, fun, brutal, agonizing, all of the above, and essentially the answers are unanimous when you think about them. It's going to be a mishmash of just about everything, with the end result being this team probably, 30 games below 500 when all is said and done. On the flip side, Mike, the New York Yankees have a mission, and that's to unseat the Red Sox as champions of Major League Baseball, Mike. And that has to happen because the Boston area needs another major sports championship. Like, we need holes in the head. But that might be arguable.
Well, I mean, yes, obviously the Yankees' goal is to exceed what the Red Sox did last year. And, Brian Cashman took an uncharacteristic path when it comes to New York teams. He didn't go out and blow the doors off Bryce Harper or Manny Machado and spend $30 million a year. He spread the money out. He got Paxton in a trade with Seattle. He brings in DJ LeMahieu from what used to be with Colorado. I think he was at the Cubs last year. He brings in Troy Tulowitzki on a cheap contract. I mean, I think he dabbled a little bit, and he spent money on pitching. He didn't go out and hit a grand slam home run in free agency. He made, judicious tinkering moves. And I know that there's been a lot of criticism in New York that they didn't make the big move. Now Cashman is pretty safe in his job. So even if it doesn't work, he'll be fine. But I think the goal of the Yankees this year is to, make sure that the Red Sox don't repeat as World Series champions.
Brian Cashman goes back to when George Steinbrenner was alive, doesn't he? I mean, he's been in that position for quite some time.
Over 20 years, yeah.
He just does what he has to. Yeah, Mike, he just does what he has to do. And, that's one of the things I love about the Yankees. For me, they're the class of baseball. And I know a lot of Blue Jays fans will hate me for saying that, but I'm a baseball guy. I do a Leafs Convo podcast. I love hockey, but I grew up playing baseball, paid my college. So I understand this game extremely well. just like you, Mike. And, you know, I call a spade, and I think the Yankees are certainly the class of the league. And I don't know what other team would be the benchmark to be like in Major League Baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers, the Arizona Diamondbacks? No, it's the New York Yankees. Do you think it's another season where, you know, the expectations are extremely high for this team, and if the ultimate goal of winning a World Series for the first time since 2009 isn't reached, then it's a failure?
Well, I mean, it depends on how it unfolds. I mean, one thing that people are taking for granted, they had a couple really great rookies in Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar, who were second and third in the American League Rookie of the Year voting. You know, we know sophomore slumps, they happen in all professional sports, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and hockey. So those players are going to have to grow and improve on last year. And if they don't, then they're going to have to get that offense from someplace else. So, you know, without Didi Gregorius, who's one of the team leaders until August, more than likely, you know, guys like Torres and Andujar, and to a greater extent, probably Giancarlo Stanton and Judge are going to have to carry that team offensively. And they hope, you know, I know they've had some injury problems early in the year with Dylan Betances, Aaron Hicks, and Luis Severino. They're not season-ending injuries, so if they come back in May and, you know, play the way they play, then the Yankees should be fine.
Mike, this podcast will also serve as a Yankees history lesson for me. I will surprise you with my knowledge, and you will obviously overwhelm us with yours. Was Brett Gardner on that 2009 winner?
Yes.
He's leading off for the Yankees. What a pain in the ass he is, but I would take him on my team if I'm making a push to win something, or if I need a veteran to come in and set the table and set the standard for a bunch of young kids. What a great guy to have. Let's wrap it up real quick. Last thoughts from you.
Yeah, I mean, Gardner, he's probably going to retire after this year. He signed a 1-year deal for less money because I think he wanted to be a career Yankee, and he's been, you know, he may not be as good a player as Pedroia, but he's sort of that hard-ass type of player, just like Pedroia is for Boston. And I think the Yankee fans love Brett Gardner, and this will probably be his swan song. But right now he has to play center field because Aaron Hicks is out.
You're invested 24/7 into this Yankees lifestyle, right, Mike? I mean, with the Blue Jays, I am, but I've been so focused on the Leafs Convo, and I've been focused on everything that goes on with the Maple Leafs. And that's what happens when you run a podcast. As things intensify with the Leafs, we'll see how much time I can devote to immersing, you know, my heartache into what the Blue Jays produce for us. But I will say this, I'm hopeful that I can get attached to this team because it does something fun. And again, if you listen to the Leafs Convo podcast, and if you're new to our podcast because you love baseball and you're finding out more about us, you'll realize that Mike and I are not curmudgeons. We're not negative. We're realistic. And I think the reality staring the Yankees in the face is the Boston Red Sox are going to be a thorn in their side and going to want to, you know, hold on to their championship. For the Blue Jays, it's rebuild mode. The fun thing, Michael, is I can't wait to see guys like Vladdy and Bo Bichette, Kevin Biggio. I'm looking forward to those guys and play ball and see how it all works out. Michael, have a good one. Enjoy opening day.
Thanks, Norman.